Anyway, back from that, we were talking about hair.
Were we?
I we were. You know what? Great segue to my hair right now. You may not know this, or you may, but I'm rocking some faux bangs right now, baby. And why is that? Because I'm covering Pangea on my forehead because I have peeling from my sunburn over a week ago. Yep, I have peeling, but not to mention the leathery chin, but that's okay.
No, you're fine. The real tea is that you were trying to, just put on a little light beat for the episode and you ripped off your forehead skin. So when she says Pangea, she literally means there's a continent of ripped skin on her forehead.
Well, it's where the ripped skin gives way to the baby skin. The baby skin is Pangea.
Also, wear sunscreen, babe, and everybody out there.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking because the worst part about it is not that I didn't have sunscreen, because that would be bad, that I went to the beach with the sun as strong as it is and all that I know about skin cancer and I didn't apply sunblock. The worst is that all of that is true, but also what is true is that sunblock was in my purse.
Well,
the silence is Emily's disappointment.
Well, wish you could see my face right now. Okay, also, Florida sun be going hard.
Florida is going hard in general.
Yeah, but hard in the wrong direction.
Yes, it's in the all wrong direction. But you know what? I'd like to give a round of applause to Mayor Daniela Levine Cava. Shout out to you. Because there was a silly little parent in Miami-Dade County who filed a single complaint for Amanda Gorman's speech and then refused to read the entirety of the work and said that it was confusing and indoctrinating. And they removed it from elementary school. But the mayor reached out to Amanda Gorman personally, or rather on social media, and invited her to come do a reading.
Yeah, Florida, Schmorda. I don't know. It's hard. It's getting hard to be here and not feel like we're making a bad decision or contributing to something negative. And
it's tough because I don't think that just because Florida is becoming an increasingly dangerous place for somebody like me, that means that I should abandon it. I feel like even more reason for us to stick around and fight. Because if we're not, if we don't, then who will?
Yeah. I mean, back to the whole universe thing. And you always say this, I'm always infatuated with space travel and the idea of leaving Earth. And you've always been well, we have this amazing planet that we've already messed up. If we abandon it and we go somewhere else, why would you think that you're just going to fix it? And all of a sudden solve the problems of humanity. The planet is fine. We're the problem.
Right. The planet can just wipe us out at any moment and do a full cleansing like it has Ice Age or whatever.
Right. So you can focus on getting to the moon. And then when you get to the moon, then you'll just burn that. Anyway, no, but I'll say one positive thing about this, because you do say, well, what's the, I want to stay here. I want to fix it. And social media specifically, we have to be responsible. We live on this platform that we're very blessed to be on, that people can listen to us and access us from wherever, right? Yeah. And, I post stuff on social media a lot of times, and me, I'm a conscious poster in the sense of I know the responsibility of the moment that you're spreading your word or a photo, the potential it has to reach somebody.
Right.
And specifically when it's something about you and me, I never for 1 second think, oh, this is harmful, because we're not crude. We're not inappropriate. We just celebrate our love,
Even if we were, we have full right to do whatever we want. That's really what it boils down to.
Sure. But in the social media world, I would say I'm a little bit more of a prude than you. I don't think that everything needs to be online,
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right. Anyway, the point is that we posted something that I thought was gorgeous. And this is something that I often struggle with. We have so much love online and we see it and we receive it. And then there's one person that sticks out, that says one thing that will just like bother you or stick with you all day and whatnot. And I remember one morning I woke up and I felt the light of your phone on my face. And I'm like, what is this girl doing? And I knew she was up for a while because the first hour of the morning I was like tossing around and like in and out of a sleep and awake state. And I saw her furiously typing with her thumbs. And so when I woke up, I was like, what are you doing? And she goes, oh, this woman, she's, and she said, oh, this person, they said this thing online. And I just like, I can't not respond. And usually my response is, don't do that. Don't waste your time on these people. And she always proves me wrong.
Well, I don't know that I proved you wrong in this instance, but it didn't mean that I didn't feel that I had the calling to respond any less. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Here's what I'll say. I don't know that you changed her mind.
No, of course not.
But you changed my day by reading what you wrote her.
Oh.
And I feel like sometimes
I just like to ask you what you think, make sure that I didn't cross any lines or like didn't say anything that you thought that I shouldn't have, or I like to check in, I like to ask my people
and
who
I know,
trust.
And I know that it comes from that place, but I really do think
sometimes I'm really mad and like the hood comes out of me and I just want to send somebody to hell.
For sure.
But I take a couple breaths.
For sure. You never do it like impulsively, but in the moment when you're writing, I think that there's like a magic that comes out of it. And my point is that I'm not sure, and I can't promise you that she changed her mind because of it, but I know for a fact that the words that you wrote have the potential to change a lot of minds. And not because there's one right or wrong opinion, but because you can't speak without truly knowing where you're coming from and having the right information. So, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you read that little interaction for us, please? Come on.
It's not, I don't want to put that person.
We're not going to read the person's name, and it's not about the person. I just want to hear the message. And I want everybody to hear the message because you woke me up, okay? At least make it worth it.
Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
No.
This is me trying to force them. I'm telling you guys, they're about to hear it. You guys, listen, I'm covering my mouth even though she's right next to me.
Listen, you, Linda. You're not even giving context. The video was a 1-minute clip. It's still on our social medias if you want to go check it out. It's a 1-minute clip of a 58-minute interview that we did with a season 1 guest that we love very much, Eglantina Zing.
Shout out the Zing.
On her podcast, The Zing. And like you could imagine, that 1-minute video was rather out of context. And we discussed many, many topics across those 58 minutes. In fact, it's an incredible, I really enjoyed it. It's incredible, I think, interview of us. But the clip that we posted was specifically one where we were talking about, kind of what it is that a kid needs from their parents when they first come out, because we were talking about our coming out stories and how in the Latin community, we have a tendency to baby our kids even more and coddle them even more and adhere to more traditional, ways of thinking. And I used a certain term that I feel very comfortable using, internalized homophobia, that I know is something that straight people, gay people, and anywhere in between all suffer from. It's just a byproduct of being raised in an environment that is heteronormative, that teaches at one level or another that essentially gay is bad. And we know that gay is not bad, but that doesn't mean that we didn't grow up in an environment that told us that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's weird. I think it's weird to read the comment. I don't think people need to be hearing all of the day.
I actually think you should read it. I think it's important.
Okay. All right. So probably it makes more sense if I just read what the person said and then read what I replied.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh boy. Let's give Latin parents a bad rep. After all they've had to go through to just be in America. Just being Hispanic, and here are some privileged rich kids criticizing them and calling them homophobic. At one point, parents were told that being gay was something you were born with. Today, it's gender fluid, which is exactly what these parents argued, that being gay was just a choice. So yes, for some kids, they are choosing to be gay because it's cool to them. It's different. Not to say that is that way for all. So when kids are choosing to be gay, especially in a community where they're being killed and harassed, of course the parents would be worried. They would rather you be a closet gay person so they don't have to find out their kids have been beaten, stabbed, shot, or killed.
Oh, they would rather you be closeted. Sorry, go ahead.
Please consider your privilege because your message is harmful and really lacks context. At Emily Estefan, these comments is what further breaks families because these kids will see this and say, yes, my family doesn't understand me. So I don't need them and decide to cut everyone off. It's harmful for their mental health.
Girl.
Oh, to which I replied.
Uh-huh.
So no drum roll needed.
No, it's just, I think this is why I want you to read it because I think that, and like a lot of people would read her comment and stop there and be like, oh yeah, because a couple of the things are camouflaged. Of course I have privilege. Of course
You do.
I do. That's what I'm saying. There are certain things that she took out of context.
LGBTQ kids are being beaten,
Absolutely.
harassed, shot, and all of those things are true.
For sure, but one of these things is not like the other. And so...
You're so funny.
I'm sorry, I'm just...
I said, I can really be a Leo, okay? So just forgive me. I don't normally address these sort of comments as they rarely prove to be worth their salt, but I feel I must respond if only for the sake of the 14-year-old in me. Let me be clear, if only for posterity, that my partner's parents' wealth belongs to themselves. I am not rich and I never have been. If that's the basis of your perspective here, no, it already doesn't stand. I'm not calling anyone anything. I'm simply using the appropriate term to define the behavior displayed to me. The point is not to be offended by someone calling your homophobia by its name. The point is to reflect and hopefully make positive changes where needed. My family has come a long way since then, and even still, internalized homophobia is something that we in the LGBTQ community suffer from all the time, me included. I'm blessed to have a family who now supports me, but that was not always the case. And I found, through my lived experience, that homophobia, as well as sexism, or machismo as we know it, racism and more, is rampant in the Latin community. A community I adore and am proud to be a part of, refuse to abandon simply because of our lack of social progress. We must call things by their names. If my children are going to experience different, I must speak my truth. I'd like to invite you to do further research on sexual versus gender identity, as they are entirely different and unrelated concepts. It's difficult to discuss it with you otherwise, and your comparison of the terms here proves you lack background on the subject. Using these terms improperly can be harmful to the communities they represent. Perhaps to someone who hasn't yet accepted that sexual identity isn't a choice, although if it were, it wouldn't matter. It would be difficult to comprehend how being a closeted gay and essentially spending any time on earth denying who you are can be a much worse fate than any beating. Asking someone to hide is telling them you don't accept what they've shown you, and that is devastating to a child who desperately needs support, especially in a time of such delicate bravery from their family above all. And you're absolutely right. There are atrocities of all types happening to the LGBTQ community. I can empathize with the parents' worry here. But what more can we expect from a world when even the closest people to us don't support us how we need? Aren't brave enough to stand beside us when we are taking on the world? It only enables the homophobia everywhere else. Instead of setting an example of love and acceptance, moving towards a future where hopefully the gender of your chosen partner doesn't matter, it feeds the idea that gay is not okay. My message is crystal clear, and it was meant for you and anyone else who needs to understand that a parent succumbing to their own fear, whether or not justified, is what is tearing families apart. Parents want what's best for their children, and oftentimes they know what that is. But sometimes, parents are simply flawed humans with biases and rooted beliefs who don't know what is best for their children. My message is harmful to egos and to nothing else. What it does is send a message to those kidses, as you've called them, parents, to prioritize their child's need for unconditional love over their concern for how society is going to receive them. There's a very big reason LGBTQ youth are 4 to 5 times more likely to attempt suicide compared to their peers. Having at least one accepting adult in their life cuts that likelihood by 40%. More than advice, more than protection, more than anything, what LGBTQ kids need is love and support. You were a kid once, and so was I. If I ever felt misunderstood by my family, it wasn't because someone else shared their story of misunderstanding. If anything, it was healing and comforting to know I wasn't alone in my experience, and that it could, like I am the example of, get better. I'm here to spread one message. Hold your child when they need you most, because it might be the thing that saves their life. because nothing is more harmful to their mental health than validating who they are. If that was lost on you, hopefully this cleared it up.
Yeah.
You're so funny.
Oh,
There's so many
babe.
things I would say differently now that I'm reading it with some
No,
distance.
I just when I feel somebody is attacking me or somebody I love, I feel like I have to attack on return, and you are able to like get
Subtly attack?
no, it's not an attack. It's just a reflection. And I pray that people are open enough to take a step back and actually, imagine a world where they could read something like that and take something away from it. But I'm telling you, me, who is the least homophobic person you could meet, like it touched me. So it doesn't matter if you're 90 or 10 or whatever age you are. Sometimes you just need somebody to give you a hug and say, it's okay. Like, however it
Yeah.
is you want to handle this, I'm going to be by your side.
Launching.